Electric vehicles. For the last decade, they have been sold to us as the future. We were promised a revolution, a thrilling driving experience defined by instant torque, silent acceleration, and the liberation of never visiting a gas station again. We were told that by buying electric, we were buying into the cutting edge, future-proofing our driveways against the obsolescence of the internal combustion engine. But there is a darker side to this revolution that few salesmen mentioned on the showroom floor. While the technology has surged forward, the economics of ownership have quietly collapsed for millions of early adopters. When it comes to resale value, owners are waking up to a harsh, cold reality. Electric vehicles are currently depreciating faster than almost any other asset class in the automotive world. If you are considering buying a new EV today, in late 2025, you might be walking into the biggest financial gamble of your life without even knowing it. This isn't just about losing a few $1,000s, it's about asset value collapsing by nearly 60% in half a decade. Today, we are diving deeper than the headlines, into why EV resale value has become a bloodbath. We are going to look at the cold, hard data from 2025 that proves it. We're going to examine the rental car disaster that flooded the market. We're going to talk about the battery anxiety that is killing prices despite what the science says. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you will know exactly what risks you are facing and whether the electric dream is still worth the price of admission. Let's stop speculating and look at the numbers. The narrative that EVs hold their value just like gas cars is officially dead. In March 2025, iSeeCars released a bombshell study that sent shockwaves through the industry. They analyzed over 800,000 used vehicles sold between March 2024 and February 2025. These weren't estimates, these were real transactions. The result? Electric vehicles lose an average of 58.8% of their value in just 5 years. Let that sink in, nearly 60%. To put that in perspective, the average for all vehicles, including gas, hybrids, and diesel, is 45.6%. That means EVs are depreciating nearly 30% faster than the average car. Let's translate that into real money, because percentages can feel abstract. Imagine you bought a shiny new EV for $60,000 5 years ago. Today, that car is statistically likely to be worth just $24,000. You have vaporized $36,000 in wealth simply by parking it in your driveway. Now compare that to a similar combustion engine vehicle. If you had spent that same $60,000 on a luxury gas SUV or a high-trim truck, it would likely still be worth $33,000 or more today. That is a $9,000 difference in your pocket, enough to buy a decent used car for your teenager or take a luxury vacation. That is the EV tax that nobody talks about until trade-in day. And this data isn't an outlier, it's a trend that has been accelerating. In 2023, the gap was smaller, but as we moved through 2024 and into 2025, the floor dropped out. Why? Because the market fundamentally shifted from early adopter enthusiasm to mass market skepticism. But wait, is this happening to every electric car? Is there a safe harbor? Not quite. While almost all EVs are hurting, some models are absolute financial bloodbaths. If you own a Jaguar I-Pace, you might want to look away. According to that same 2025 data, the I-Pace tops the list of worst depreciating vehicles in America. It loses a staggering 72.2% of its value in 5 years. Think about the math on that. A well-spec'd I-Pace cost over $80,000 new. 5 years later, you are lucky to get $22,000 for it. That is over $50,000 gone, poof, vanished. That is the cost of a brand new BMW 3 Series, just erased from your net worth. And it's not just the legacy brands struggling to figure out EVs. The giant of the industry, Tesla, is facing the same music. The Tesla Model S, the car that started the revolution for many, loses 65.2% of its value in 5 years. The Model X isn't far behind at 63.4%. Even the best sellers, the Model Y and Model 3, are not immune. The Model Y is seeing 5-year depreciation of 60.4%. Even the affordable options are getting hammered. The Nissan Leaf, the pioneer of the modern EV era, drops around 64%. Now look at the other side of the fence, hybrids. While EVs are crashing, hybrids are holding steady, depreciating around 40 to 41%. Trucks are even better. The Toyota Tacoma and Tundra consistently retain 60% or more of their value. So we have to ask the question, why the massive gap? Why is a hybrid Toyota RAV4 gold in the bank, while a technologically advanced Tesla or Jaguar is a falling knife? To understand the crash of 2025, we have to look back at the corporate disaster of 2024. This is the story of Hertz. A few years ago, Hertz made a massive bet. They ordered 100,000 Teslas, planning to electrify their rental fleet. It was a PR coup. But the reality of running an EV fleet was a nightmare. Repair costs were astronomical. Minor fender benders that cost $500 on a Ford Focus were costing $5,000 on a Tesla. Downtime was killing utilization. And then Tesla started slashing new car prices, which instantly devalued Hertz's fleet. So Hertz pulled the ripcord. Throughout 2024 and 2025, they dumped over 30,000 EVs onto the used market. This wasn't just a trickle, it was a flood. Suddenly, the market was saturated with high-mileage ex-rental Model 3s and Model Ys. Basic economics took over. When supply skyrocket and demand is tepid, prices crash. We saw Teslas that cost $45,000 in new selling used for under $20,000. This created a ripple effect that destroyed the trade-in value for private owners. Imagine you're a regular guy named Mike. You have a pristine garage-kept 2022 Model 3. You go to trade it in thinking it's worth $30,000. But the dealer pulls up the auction data and sees thousands of Hertz cars selling for $18,000. You're insulted. You're angry. But that's the market. Hertz's liquidation set a new artificially low floor for EV prices that is still suppressing the market in late 2025. But it's not just Hertz. There is a fundamental issue with how we value EVs compared to gas cars. We don't treat EVs like cars, we treat them like consumer electronics. Think about your iPhone. A 2-year-old iPhone is okay. A 5-year-old iPhone is ancient. An 8-year-old iPhone is a paperweight. EVs are suffering from the same tech obsolescence. In 2022, a standard EV might have had 250 miles of range and charged at 150 kilos. In 2025, a comparable new model has 350 miles of range, charges at 300 kilos, and has a heat pump, better software, and faster processors. The 2022 model looks like a dinosaur next to the 2025 model. Buyers know this. They flock to the newest tech, leaving the older models with zero demand. Compare that to a gas car. A 2020 Toyota Camry has a 4-cylinder engine. A 2025 Toyota Camry has a 4-cylinder engine. The tech hasn't changed radically. The 5-year-old car still does exactly what the new one does, with almost the same efficiency. It doesn't feel obsolete. This rapid evolution of EV tech is a double-edged sword. It's great for progress, but it destroys the value of everything that came before it. If you buy an EV today, you are betting that the tech won't jump so far in 3 years that your car becomes the iPhone 6 of the automotive world. Then there is the elephant in the room, the battery. Every used EV buyer asks the same question: how long until the battery dies and costs me $15,000? This fear is the single biggest drag on used EV prices. But here is the twist: the fear is mostly irrational. According to 2025 data from Recurrent Auto, which tracks thousands of connected EVs, the average battery degradation is only about 1.8% per year. Do the math. After 10 years, the average EV still has over 80% of its original range. Recurrent's data suggests that most modern EV batteries will last 15 to 20 years longer than the life of the car itself. Catastrophic failures are rare, affecting fewer than 1.5% of vehicles outside of major recalls. But in the used car market, perception is reality. Buyers don't trust the data. They see a 5-year-old EV and they imagine a ticking time bomb. They worry about how the previous owner treated it. Did they supercharge it to 100% every day? Did they leave it in the freezing cold? Because there is no easy universal battery health score displayed on every used car window sticker yet, buyers assume the worst. They price in the cost of a new battery just in case. I call this the fear tax. It suppresses the value of perfectly healthy cars because the market lacks confidence in the longevity of the technology. We see this playing out in real stories every day. Take John from Texas. He bought a 2023 Rivian R1T for $90,000. He loved the truck, but in 2025, life changed and he needed to sell. The trade-in offers? They hovered around $50,000. John posted on a forum, "I love the truck, but financially, it's a nightmare. I essentially paid $20,000 a year just to drive it." Or look at the Chevy Bolt owners. One owner traded in their 2024 model and got offers $15,000 below what they still owed on the loan. That is called being underwater. And for many EV owners, it's like being at the bottom of the Mariana Trench. The final nail in the coffin for 2025 resale values is simple supply and demand. For years, there was a shortage of EVs. Used prices were crazy, sometimes higher than new prices. Those days are gone. According to Cox Automotive, in August 2025 alone, the used EV market saw a record 40,960 units sold. That's up 59% year over year. The volume is exploding, but supply is outpacing demand. Leases from the 2022-2023 boom years are ending, returning thousands of cars to dealers. Fleets are dumping cars. And at the same time, new EV sales growth has slowed in some segments as the early majority hesitates. The result? Prices drop. In late 2025, the average listing price for a used EV dipped to around $36,000. If you look specifically at Teslas, the average used price is down to $31,000. This is a buyer's market, which means it is a seller's nightmare. So is it all doom and gloom? Is every EV a financial black hole? Not necessarily. There are exceptions. According to the Kelley Blue Book 2025 Best Resale Value Awards, traditional brands like Toyota and Honda are dominating the retention charts, retaining over 50 to 60% of their value. While EVs generally aren't making the top of those lists yet, some models like the Hyundai Kona Electric and certain longer-range non-luxury models are depreciating slower than the luxury giants. And if you are a used car buyer, this crash is the opportunity of a lifetime. Remember Sarah from California? She snagged a used 2022 Model 3 for $25,000 in 2025. That car cost $50,000 new. She got a modern high-tech car with 90% of its battery life remaining for the price of a base model Civic. For buyers, the depreciation curve is a gift. You let the first owner take the $30,000 hit and you pick up the pieces. So what does this mean for you? If you are thinking about buying a new EV right now, in late 2025, you need to be brutally honest with yourself. Carl Brower, the executive analyst at iSeeCars, put it best: depreciation is the biggest ownership cost. EVs amplify it due to tech pace and market floods. If you buy new, you are catching a falling knife. If you pay $55,000 today, expect that car to be worth $25,000 in 2030. That is a $30,000 loss. That is more than many people earn in a year. However, the technology is stabilizing. By 2030, we expect solid-state batteries and stabilized supply chains to flatten these depreciation curves. But we aren't there yet. We are in the messy middle. Here is my advice. 1. Lease, don't buy. If you want a new EV, lease it. Let the bank take the risk on the residual value. If the car is worth nothing in 3 years, you just hand back the keys and walk away. It is the only way to shield yourself from the crash. 2. Buy used. If you want to own, buy a 3 to 4-year-old EV. Let someone else pay the depreciation tax. You can get incredible technology for 50 cents on the dollar right now. 3. Check the data. Before you buy, check Recurrent Auto for the specific model's battery history. Check iSeeCars to see if that model is a depreciation disaster like the I-Pace, or a safer bet like a Model 3. The electric future is inevitable. The cars are getting better, faster, and cleaner every year, but the financial model of ownership is broken right now. The days of flipping Teslas for profit are over. The days of investment-grade cars are gone. We are back to reality. Cars are depreciating assets, and right now, electric cars are burning cash faster than anything else on the road. If you love the drive, if you love the tech, buy the car, but do it with your eyes wide open. Know the risks, because the only thing silent about these cars is the engine. The crash in value is loud and clear. Thanks for sticking with this deep dive. I want to hear from you. Are you an owner who felt the sting of depreciation? Or are you a used buyer hunting for a bargain? Let me know in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one.